So when I was a little girl around the holidays, my mother would always make this dessert. It's called Kifli. And I have looked everywhere online for a recipe and cannot find one. So I had to actually call her and make her send me the recipe card so that I would know how to make it because I really wanted it. So I'm going to start with 4 cups of flour in my mixer. Now I'm going to tell you, my mother will painstakingly hand mix the butter into the flour. I'm going to do it the lazy way. I have 2 cups of butter, so 4 sticks, that I'm going to put into my mixer with my flour. And I'm going to let my mixer do the work because I'm a little lazy. And so we're cutting the butter into the flour until it gets to like pea size, or it looks like coarse sand. Okay, so it only takes a couple minutes. We are there. I'm going to add 4 egg yolks. Well, that last one broke. And a cup of sour cream. We're going to mix this together until it forms a dough. See, it happens very quickly. Now I'm going to get a little bit more flour and we're just going to knead this until it forms a nice smooth ball. The only problem, the only part of the laziness of doing it in the mixer is that you always have these little crumbles at the bottom that don't get mixed in because the paddle doesn't reach all the way to the bottom, which I do not understand about mixers. So you want to knead in enough flour to make it nice and smooth, but not dry. So you still want to be able to get to make indentions in it, but you don't want it to look craggly. So there we go. Now I'm going to set that aside and I'm going to make the filling for the kifli. Okay, so the filling for the kifli is very, very simple. It's 1.25 cups of finely ground walnuts, a cup of sugar. We're going to stir those together. A 1/2 cup of milk. And then I'm going to use a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Usually I would use almond extract. I don't have any today. And the almond extract just enhances the flavor of the nuts. If you really like a nutty flavor, use almond. If not, vanilla is perfectly acceptable. So I'm going to add my vanilla. Stir it all together. And then we're going to set it aside. and roll out our dough. So we'll be right back. All right, so we have preheated our oven to 400 degrees. I need to make sure I remember to say that. I'm going to take about half of our dough. It's a little less than half, but it'll be okay. I'm going to roll it out. Sprinkle it with a little bit of flour. Oof. You want it about 1/8 of an inch thick, so not very. Okay, then I'm going to cut squares, and I know that's really odd, but these are square cookies. So I have my square. I'm going to take my 1/2 teaspoon cookie scoop, and I'm going to put it in the center, and then we fold these over diagonally. Oh, that's a little too full. Press it together. And then we're going to put it on a parchment covered cookie sheet. And we're going to keep going that way until we have finished them all. Okay, so I'm using a 2-inch square cookie cutter, and I think I'm going to go look for my 2.5 inch because I think it might work better. I'm back with my 2.5 inch cookie cutter, and we're going to try this again. Oh yeah, much easier. It's still a little coming out, but it's not as bad. All right, so we're going to keep doing this until we have gone through all of our dough, or at least filled up a tray. So the last step before we put our kifli in the oven is I beat 1 egg in a bowl, and now I'm just going to brush the egg wash along the tops. We bake these at 400 degrees for about 8 minutes, and then we pull them out, and immediately, while they are still hot, dredge them through powdered sugar, and then they'll be ready. Of course, you should probably let them cool before you eat them because the filling is hot. This is our first tray. We're going to put these in the oven, and then we'll show you what they look like. There we go. 400 degrees for 8 minutes. So it took about 11 minutes for them to cook. You want them to be a little brown on the bottom. We're just going to run them through powdered sugar like this, and you need to do it when it's hot. You can do it again when they've cooled off, but you want to get the first thing of powdered sugar in when they're still warm. Now, while these were cooking, I discovered that a 3-inch square works better to at least fill them and allow you to seal them up tight. So I'll show you how those look after they cook. And this is a cup of powdered sugar, by the way, just so you know that's what I put in the bowl to dredge them through. And there we have our first tray of kifli. So if you notice, these are the 3-inch squares that I used instead of the 2.5, and you see how much better they are sealed together. So we're going to put these in. I'm going to start these at 11 minutes. Since they're bigger, they're probably going to take a little bit longer, but we'll see. So our last tray of kifla is out of the oven. These took 15 minutes, the 3-inch. So I'm just going to run these through the powdered sugar the same way we did before. And then have your tray of kifla. I had to add another half a cup of powdered sugar, I should tell you also. So it's a total of a cup and a half that you're going to use. And there you have my childhood holiday favorite dessert, kifla.